Welcome back to another episode of Whine and Whine, Real Estate Uncorked. Today we're going to have a fun, spine-tingling episode with some stories, local legends of the Bay Area real estate that's haunted. So here we go, kicking it off with where's our first spot?
So how exciting and scary, huh? It's Halloween. So let's start off with the one that's right in our backyard, the Winchester Mystery House. It's probably the most famous haunted house probably in the United States, I would think. Maybe somewhere else has got one, I don't know. But it was Sarah Winchester's home. Sarah decided that her husband, William Winchester, who had the Winchester rifle and killed many people, she felt that the souls of the people that got killed by that rifle forced her to be able to want to keep building this house. This house is huge. It's like 160 rooms.
Have you ever been there?
I have been there.
The funny thing is there's billboards all over the state of California, and I think the first time I actually went there was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, and I'm going to say the same thing. I probably was 50, so I lived here like 45 years.
Yeah, we drive by it all the time.
And went to the movie theaters next door forever as a kid growing up and everything. But and it's weird because when you do go and you go up stairways that go nowhere, in rooms that are just doors opening to nothing, how much energy she put into trying to alleviate the stuff she felt about everyone that got killed by these rifles. But it's an incredible house. It's huge.
And they also offer a haunted experience now through the month, I believe. That is a fantastic tour. We actually went on it a couple weeks ago. Blake was scared to tears. He did not go into it. He's also 10.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He saw the dark hallway to enter in, and then he said, nope. He said, I'm not ready yet. But the rest of us had a great time. They really put a lot of effort into the theatrics and everything. And that house is just spooky as it is.
Yeah,
I mean, you go there, and the grounds just feel spooky.
Yeah. And I think they do like a midnight one on Halloween, too.
They do.
Yeah.
They had a flashlight tour or something.
Oh, exciting, huh?
Yeah. So that's definitely a top one.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been and you live in California, you got to go.
You got to go.
It's awesome.
It's right here, San Jose.
Right? Absolutely. So the next one, actually, we have friends that own this restaurant. So this is a fun one. So I didn't know that it was haunted until we started looking into haunted places in the Bay Area and the Grandview.
Yeah, I had no idea until you brought it up.
Yeah, so they say that
First of all, the Grandview is phenomenal. Not only just the food and the view.
Oh, God, it's gorgeous.
Mount Hamilton, on the way to Mount Hamilton. It's an incredible place to go.
So they said that in the 1900s, it was a speakeasy and that there's apparitions that are seen and things happening. Definitely a lot of ghostly experiences that are taking place within the Grandview.
I believe that's true because I think I sat at the bar once and something drank my drink. I didn't drink it. Something else took it away.
I think you drank your drink. I don't think
it was spooky.
Yeah, I don't think that's it. So they said a woman in white appears in the Grandview.
Ooh,
so we'll all have to go to the Grandview and support our friends and get a drink and see what spooky sits next to us.
Well, you won't be disappointed by the food and the view. It's incredible.
It is gorgeous.
And then maybe we get to see the white ghost.
The Prohibition era ghost.
Yeah, I got chills when you said it. I
really
did.
Okay, so the next one is so fun because this is a legend that goes back to when you were in high school, when I was in high school. So let's talk about Hicks Road.
Yeah, go ahead. You started off. What's on Hicks Road?
Our biggest thing that we were looking for in the night was the blood-sucking albino colony that lived off of Hicks.
Not just Hicks Road, but they have the ones that are up at the Cats in Los Angeles, too.
Oh, yeah. They live there, too.
Same legend, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So for us, when I was a kid, there's a spot in the road that you park your car, and it's you're leaning downhill, but the car goes backwards up the hill. And you put it in neutral, and the car would roll backwards up the hill. At least that's what it felt like.
I think you just were maybe
not in high school. Not in high school, but still, it's very eerie. Now, of course, I'm sure it has something to do with the way the road is set. But it feels like you're going downhill, and your car starts rolling backwards up the hill. Pretty scary.
Yeah, we used to drive and turn our headlights on, which is probably the worst idea in the world, driving through that road.
Yeah.
Glad I'm still alive.
Thank you.
Teenagers, Taylor, don't do it today. It's not a good idea. It's not recommended. But yeah, we looked for the blood-sucking albinos were going to chase us. And this one time, we actually did see a hitchhiker out there.
Did you really?
Yes.
I was going to ask if you ever did see it.
Yeah, we saw a hitchhiker and decided to drive out of there really quick.
So but you don't know if it was the blood-sucking one or not.
I think it might have been a ghost hitchhiker. So it's definitely a big area.
Oh, how funny.
Another one that came up that I wasn't quite aware about, but we're heading over to Fremont, and this one is Marsh Road. So I guess there's a eerie spot for ghost sightings there that we're going to have to check out. There's apparitions of a young girl. You can see her in your rear view mirror. So we're going to have to actually drive that one.
I wonder what the story is behind that. If maybe they got killed there or something. Or
I don't know. Cold spots, phantom voices, all kinds of things that they say. The legend is that someone died out there or multiple people died out there.
I wonder what that was.
They also said that Agnew, the new homes where that was built, they also have definitely lots of things that are going on.
Let me tell you a quick story about Agnew. Earlier in my life, we had business out at Agnew. We were supplying things they were filming the movie Birdie with Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
And we were there as a supplier to them for some food items. And I had to go inside the place. And I'll tell you what, it is the most eerie place you'll ever be in.
So that should have been our top one. Well, it's not there anymore.
No, it's not there. Well, there's a piece of it there. There's still a relic of it there, I believe. I think the main house is still there. But I'll tell you what, it was scary inside.
So I want to jump just outside of this and talk about disclosure for a second. Because no, seriously.
Yeah.
What do you think the disclosures looked like? Was there a responsibility of the new builder to disclose the fact that that was in existence prior to the purchase of the land?
Well, I don't know that they would have to disclose what was there before. I don't think you have to disclose if your house has ghosts either, technically. I mean, you have to disclose if someone's died in your home the last 3 years,
right?
With certain exceptions that you don't have to. But in most cases, you have to say if somebody's died in your home in the last 3 years.
3 years.
3 years, yeah. And as a realtor, if you know of something happening prior to that, you have to disclose it as a realtor.
Yeah.
But as far as a builder, I don't know. I don't think there's anything to say that there's a haunted place before we built this home that you're living on.
I think if people were out of the area, and well, I mean, there's probably lots of areas, Indian burial grounds, all kinds of things that you don't know, right?
Yeah, it's true.
So you have an apparition in your house.
It's true. Until something pops up, right? Some crazy ghost pops up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. By the way, there was a mental institution here.
Yeah, and a lot of people died there.
Yeah.
And a lot of testing and weird things.
Yeah.
And
it's scary. I get chills thinking about it.
Yeah. So
this
that's
is going back 40
freaky.
years.
It kind of takes it like, how far should disclosures go with that, right?
Yeah.
Especially culturally, there's, you want to know if there's weird things like that.
I agree.
I would want to know if I was on an Indian burial ground or some mental institution that tortured people.
I wonder if someone came back to us and said, hey, there's a ghost in my house and the seller didn't disclose it. What would happen? I mean, you'd have to prove that there's a ghost, and who believes in ghosts?
A lot of people.
Oh, yeah. They exist. They're out there. I guarantee you there's stuff out there. I was in my house in Arizona, and someone touched my leg when I was laying in bed. I swear to God. It's like someone touched my leg. Scared the heck out of me.
Oh, freaky. All right, well, let's jump into Santa Teresa Spring.
Okay, this is one I don't know about.
So it's Dottie's Pond at Santa Teresa Spring. Apparently, a woman named Dottie haunts this spot after drowning. So any of the people that are listening to this, I would love to know in the comments that live in the Bay Area or have moved out of the Bay Area if you have seen or heard or any
of this stuff. Yeah. I used to fish there as a kid in that pond with my dad.
So a woman in a white dress.
Everything's white dress. Why is that?
I don't know.
Maybe she was wearing a red dress.
Maybe, I don't know. It says she stands at the water's edge and she vanishes when people approach. So
I keep getting chills when these things come up.
Unexplained splashes in the water and all kinds of stuff. So that's pretty cool.
The splashes in the water are golf balls.
From Santa Teresa. Oh my God. Anyways,
I
okay,
hadn't
so
heard that
another one, Almaden. He grew up in Almaden. We have
Yeah.
lots of clients in Almaden, so this is a good one. So Almaden, Hacienda Cemetery. So the cemetery dating back to the 1800s is said to be a final resting place for tons of miners. It's a quicksilver mine right there. There are lots of people that passed away, unfortunately, in those mines.
Yeah.
And it's supposedly a very haunted area.
So I wonder, I don't know if you've heard that if you own a Tesla and you drive it to the cemetery, it'll sense the ghosts around you. You'll see them in your display.
Why? Oh, because of the
All the sensors there. It has everything for the cars and people that are around you, bicycles. And they say if you bring your Tesla to the cemetery, park it, leave it on, and you'll see the ghosts around you. I'm serious.
Is this the one that drank your drink at the Grandview? They're telling you ghost stories?
No. I'm going to check it out, though.
Okay, so we will get back to you guys.
Well, if you have a Tesla, never done that, you've done that, let us know. Let us know.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's supposedly a very scary area.
This is the best one. Delmar High School.
Delmar Dons. So there was a boy killed in 1942 in the athletic fields, I believe, is what... There's been kind of some stories going back and forth on what happened and where the boy was killed.
Right.
However, the stories about seeing the boy all coincide together.
Yeah.
And that there's spooky things that happen on the athletic fields, on the football field specifically. There are train tracks that run alongside of the high school that people have seen stuff coming over the train tracks. So there's all kinds of stuff with Del Mar that sounds spooky.
The scary stuff is that's where you went to school.
It is. I was the ghost of Del Mar.
You still are the ghost of Del Mar.
No, Del Mar haunts me. Are you kidding?
Have you ever seen him, the ghost?
I didn't, but I wasn't like the one that was hanging out at the fields at night. I was doing something else. I had bigger plans to go.
I hear you.
But that is definitely one of the scary San Jose stories. So let's see. We got Santa Clara University Mission. That is such a beautiful, peaceful structure. But there's lots of stories about the 1700s. There's countless ghost stories about the monks and old-fashioned
dressed people.
Dressed people walking around the mission. One of the famous stories is about a nun that walks around.
Wow.
So there's all kinds of stuff. A nun kneeling in prayer, doing all kinds of things. Now, I don't know if you've seen that movie, The Nun, but that really freaks me out because I hope it doesn't look like her. That's freaky.
Every time we talk about these, I get these little goosebumps. So this stuff must be real, right?
Maybe this house is haunted.
Yeah, maybe. Well, look.
Yeah. So this house could be haunted.
You know what would be interesting is if there's any other stories that people know that we haven't talked about. There's got to be a bunch more.
Oh,
I'm
I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually shown property where we don't usually look at disclosures right before we know that it's a viable property that our buyers might be interested in. So I've gone to several homes one in downtown San Jose where I feel like I got pushed down the stairs. I didn't actually fall. I caught myself, but I felt like I got a little nudge. And that was wild. I left the house.
And we hadn't looked at disclosures yet.
Looked at disclosures, left the house. I actually, when that happened, felt so creepy. My hair was standing up on everywhere. Went outside, let the buyers continue looking at the property. They weren't interested in the house because they also got a weird feeling. But I went and looked at disclosures. There is a massive suicide, like a triple suicide in the house. Or homicide and suicide.
Yeah.
So that one was crazy. I've had another couple of experiences where you just know something happened.
Yeah.
I actually kind of want to get a niche with that, like sell real estate that's haunted. That'd be really cool.
That's the murder house.
Yeah. Well, hey, I was a criminal justice major in college. That sounds awesome. So, and I'm a total crime fanatic.
Well, while we stuck to this side of the Bay Area, there's so many other places that we learned about and doing some research, over the hill and Half Moon Bay and other things that were just kind of interesting to read. It would be really, really cool to see what you folks think and could share with us stories you might have, and then we can bring them back to life next Halloween.
Definitely comment and share, and let's find all the stories because there's so many things.
I'd love to hear if like in your house. That would be, we bought our house, and sure enough, there's somebody living with us.
Right.
You know?
I mean, even some of our clients, Peggy and Dana, they live next to the Brooktail Lodge.
We
helped them buy next to the Brooktail Lodge. And that's a big one, too. That's supposed to be very spooky. So, well, thanks so much for joining us today, guys. We'd love to hear from you. And
share,
and definitely let us know if you have any topics that you're interested in hearing about. And happy Halloween. Be safe.
Bye.